Dream home projects abandoned after a Georgia company suddenly shuts its doors, leaving families in limbo.
On top of paying a mortgage for a home we're not in, we have to pay rent too.
A safety feature that could prevent serious injuries left out of cars manufactured in the U.S.
It's not fair that you have to have more money to have standard safety.
And our investigation helps out an Atlanta homeowner after she found out the contractor she hired was not licensed to do the work. When systems fail, people pay the price. We trace the damage, expose the truth, and fight to fix it. This is Uncovered by Atlanta News First Investigates. A Georgia home manufacturer suddenly closes, leaving families across multiple states unable to move into their brand new houses. Atlanta News First investigative reporter Andy Parati has the company's response and advice for homeowners if it happens to you.
So this is our open concept kitchen.
Brianna Kelch walks us through her dream home in South Georgia. An open concept kitchen, high ceilings.
Look at that view.
Yes.
And plenty of windows.
Still lots of natural light in here.
A manufactured home she could afford.
I loved it.
On land surrounded by family.
It just had what we wanted in a home for a better price than what we could have built.
Instead of celebrating the purchase of a new home, Brianna has no clue when she'll be able to move inside. She bought the home from Yurezz Home Center in Statesboro, Georgia in May for $291,000. The company operates a dozen offices in 6 states. According to Brianna's contract, Yurezz agreed to install brick skirting, plumbing, and an air conditioning unit worth about $30,000 combined. But none of it has been completed. There's no running water or AC. And when we interviewed her in June, the heat index was 100 degrees.
We're in it. It's ours. We just can't physically live in it. So on top of paying a mortgage for a home we're not in, we have to pay rent too to house where we are currently.
Ronna says she tried calling and messaging the owner. When she didn't get any answers, she came to the office where she purchased the home to find this sign on the door saying it was closed. An Atlanta News First investigation uncovered at least 6 other families throughout the Southeast who claimed the company did not finish the job or deliver their home, including Josh and Megan Philpott in Kentucky.
We are left with lots of work to be finished here. We need HVAC, we need grading, we need plumbing connections.
And Jessica Burke in Tennessee.
We don't know what's going on. We still have a lot of unanswered questions. It's not a safe feeling.
The owner of the company is Richard Altman. In this post on the company's TikTok account, Mr. Altman touts himself as a deal maker.
We rock them deals, baby, deals.
But his customers say he's left them with unfinished homes and unanswered questions.
Distressed, worried, I get anxious. I pray about it a lot.
It's not just homeowners complaining. In June, a mortgage company filed a lawsuit against Mr. Altman. It claims he took a manufactured home from a business inventory lot without paying for it. Yurezz has yet to respond to the lawsuit's claims. Atlanta News First Investigates called, texted, and emailed Richard Altman multiple times requesting an interview. We received this text message in response writing, Yurezz Home Center made the difficult decision to pause its retail operations. We understand the inconvenience that this uncertainty causes our customers and contractors, and we will share additional information as it becomes available.
It's a lot of space. A lot of cabinet space.
Brianna says she got a similar message from the owner claiming the company would reopen in a week.
She even said that he would call me that day.
Did that happen?
He did not call.
And did they reopen?
They did not reopen.
Homeowners upset with a company they thought they could trust, they say did not keep its promise.
I hope that in your heart you are wanting and trying to do the right thing. If you could just give them an update and a plan.
Or $30,000.
Or $30,000 to get me in my home would be great.
Andy, you spent a lot of time reporting on this, and I know there's been some changes. So just explain it all, pull the curtain back here. What's happened with those homeowners since your initial reporting?
So as of this recording, Brianna told me that she is closer to moving into her home, not because Yurezz has responded or paid her the extra money to get the things that need to be done to move in, but because her lender has released funds to help complete some of the work and pay for things like the air conditioning unit. As far as one of the homeowners that lives in Kentucky, she also said that she received a letter claiming to be from an attorney from Yurezz saying that, hey, the company's filed for bankruptcy. We're going to hold a virtual meeting for some homeowners to learn more.
We know you'll stay on top of this reporting. Thank you. A blind spot in your car's safety. We investigate the airbag feature that still hasn't been adopted as standard in the U.S. A safety feature designed to prevent severe head injuries in certain car crashes is standard in most new cars in Europe, but it can be difficult to find here in the U.S. Anna Warner explores why and asks experts if the industry is sacrificing safety.
Was getting really excited for potentially doing what I've always dreamed of doing.
And the dream has always been
To write music for a living.
Lindsay Rohde was just beginning to break out as a singer-songwriter. The music stopped on September 20th of last year as Rohde, driving her SUV with her sister in the passenger seat, both in seatbelts, pulled out to turn left at this intersection a couple blocks from her apartment. That's when a driver ran the red light, smashing into the driver's side of her car. The right side of her skull was shattered.
What's it like to have your identity taken away from you?
It's heartbreaking.
Rohde can't remember the accident, but she believes that when the other car hit,
My sister and I hit heads.
in a frontal crash, airbags like these protect the driver and front seat passenger. But what about when the impact comes from the side, as in Rohde's crash? Here's a side impact crash test. Watch as the heads of these test dummies collide. It turns out her injury might have been prevented if her car had had what's called a front center airbag. In this European test, watch as that airbag prevents the dummies' heads from hitting each other as it pops up between the seats. But Rohde's car didn't have one, and in shopping for a new car 6 months later, she says she could only find one vehicle with a front center airbag in her price range.
It's not fair that you have to have more money to have standard safety.
We confirmed they are standard in some luxury vehicles, but in some other cars they're optional, which means you'll pay extra. For instance, Nissan told us the airbags are standard in some vehicles, optional in others. But in many U.S. vehicles, those airbags simply don't exist. In Europe, it's different. In 2015, their nonprofit safety organization, Euro NCAP, began looking at side impact crashes. Instances of people colliding with each other in front seats were less common, says technical manager James Elway, but when it did happen,
one of you runs the risk of impacting the other one during that side impact, and that can be very often serious or even fatal.
So in 2020, Euro NCAP incorporated a safety test that ultimately prompted most automakers to add that front center airbag in their European models. The result? Car after car after car with standard front center airbags. Euro NCAP says 80% of the vehicles it's tested in the last 5 years now have them. So why are front center airbags not as prevalent in cars in the U.S.? To find out, we visited the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. The federal government does regulate auto safety, but it's the IIHS and its rating system that's behind many vehicle safety improvements. IIHS Vehicle Research Center Vice President Raul Arbeliz says, in regard to front center airbags,
can those airbags help? I think certainly yes, but we didn't see enough data to convince us that it was the right path to take at the time.
If Europe has a test that makes them add front center airbags, why couldn't America, the US, have a test like that?
It's possible. It's someone, and it could be the Institute, it could be the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. someone just has to make that a priority.
So we asked the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, about front center airbags. It said it's currently studying real-world cases of occupant-to-occupant injuries from all types of crashes in its data and will assess next steps based on its findings. But our investigative team analyzed that same federal data for side impact crashes and found when there were 2 people in the front seats, for the person on the opposite side from the impact, the risk of a severe head injury more than tripled.
This is the ones that we are talking about.
So these are the ones that a lot of the U.S. cars do not have.
Exactly.
Jordi Lombarte is Executive Vice President of Autoleave, a company that makes front center airbags. He says his company sells those airbags in countries including Japan and Korea, but only a fraction in the U.S.
You believe that they also could save more lives here in the U.S.
Absolutely.
if they were in more cars here?
Yes.
Bottom line.
Bottom line.
Our team reached out to 20 automakers to see which of their vehicles are equipped with front center airbags. Most didn't respond, but you can see the comments from those who did at AtlantaNewsFirst.com.
Ahead on Uncovered, a Georgia woman hands over hundreds of thousands of dollars for home repairs, only to find out the man she hired is not a licensed contractor.
An Atlanta homeowner hired a contractor to rebuild her storm-damaged home. Months later, a crooked chimney, unfinished floors, and a stunning discovery. The man she paid was not licensed to do the work. She didn't know that until after she had already paid him $250,000. Atlanta News First consumer investigator Better Call Harry has her story.
Everything has happened here. I raised my son here. My father died here. Guests and shows and all kinds of good and sad stuff happen here, yeah.
Judy Standard can't imagine being anywhere else. She moved here in 1970. The lighting is perfect for a professional artist. Her artwork makes the home feel more like a gallery.
Yeah, see, that was the wrong blue. Try again for the sky.
Here's one image that doesn't need a canvas. It's a photo taken the day a massive tree smashed into her chimney and into Judy's living room.
My neighbors came running. I mean, within a New York minute, they were here. And they took me out and gave me some scotch and whatever.
State Farm estimated repairs at $250,000. They had to use a crane to remove the tree, then rebuild the roof, chimney, deck, walls. The point is, it's not the kind of rebuild a homeowner can manage. Judy needed a licensed professional.
How did you find a contractor?
I have no idea how that guy showed up in my house. I really don't know.
So you're the contractor, correct?
We called the contractor. He wouldn't go on camera, but said the roofer gave him the lead for the job.
You were supposed to pull a permit.
He did not pull a permit because, as he admitted to us, he is not a state licensed residential contractor.
This is the payout that you got?
The whole, yes.
$250,722.
Yeah.
Of that, she says she gave the contractor $210,000. What happened next happens to a lot of homeowners after a disaster.
Where is it?
She tried to keep track of the payments, but it's hard.
It's somewhere.
And insurance companies don't usually get involved.
So you got money to redo these floors?
Yes.
How much money?
$14,000.
How much work was done?
None.
This story is not about a contractor running off with the funds. Judy says he completed a lot of the work, but none of it passed a city inspection because he never pulled a permit. Take a look at the chimney. It's hard to see, but it's crooked. The contractor says the masonry company quote that he submitted to the insurance company was too expensive, so he picked someone else.
They came in, say, Miss, come look, is this okay? And I said, no, it's not okay.
Here's where it gets messy. She hired another company for an inspection. The chimney requires a $35,000 rebuild. She went to Atlanta Legal Aid, where a pro bono senior attorney wrote a $78,000 demand letter for the chimney rebuild and incomplete work. The response did not paint a pretty picture.
He said, I looked through it and I disagree with it. I consider the case closed.
Wow, Harry, a lot to unpack here. Let's start with the takeaways for our audience. How can they confirm a contractor is licensed and pulling the permits before the work starts?
All right. So a lot of people think that when a contractor says, yes, I'm licensed, that's it. But what they could be saying is that I have a business license. You can get a business license, but not be a licensed contractor. To become a licensed contractor, which the law dates back to, I believe, 2005, when state lawmakers finally decided we've got to do something because there are a lot of people out here who are just like the Wild West. To get a contractor's license, I mean, it's not easy. You have to study. There is an exam. You have to go, you usually have to take a course, and you have to know your stuff. And that also means that when you're licensed, that you're going to follow the proper procedure. They don't always do that. There's always a few in there, but they're going to pull permits. They're going to make sure that everything is done right.
Should the insurance company check permits and inspections before paying out, or is this a situation where it's all on the homeowner?
It really is kind of on the homeowner. Insurance companies, it's their job. The adjuster comes out, they make the assessment, they figure out, you go back and forth and negotiate on repairs. But ultimately, it is up to the homeowner to decide who they're going to hire, whether or not that person is qualified or licensed. And here's the thing. A lot of people believe that when the insurance company hands you the check, that you just sign it over to the contractor because it's not really your money. No, it is your money. It's the money that the insurance company gave you to fix your house. If you sign that over to someone who is not licensed and takes off, luckily that didn't happen in this case, but if they take off with the cash, happens all the time, chances are you're not going to get those funds back. So it is incumbent on the homeowner to do their homework and make sure that they're doing this and get out a written contract. I advise getting an attorney to look it over and then coming up with a schedule of payment. I mean, listen, we're talking about a $250,000 repair in which this contractor got $210,000. You want to keep track of that. And she tried. She did a very good job. But at the end of the day, there were still thousands that they couldn't. What happened to this? Where did this money go? And the contractor finally admitted, the unlicensed contractor admitted, this was my first job. He didn't tell her that. And he didn't tell her that he was unlicensed. We were the ones who looked him up. And then I called him up and said, are you licensed? No. Okay, well, that kind of voids your contract. The amazing thing about this story is that we got a resolution that I'm frankly stunned, and that story is coming up in a couple of weeks, where this contractor stepped up and did the right thing. I know I kind of gave it away, but not only that, the insurance company got involved and said, what else can we do? That doesn't usually happen, but in this case, it did. And I think our coverage helped on that one.
We look forward to that update. Thanks so much, Harry.
You can listen to all of our extended conversations on these stories right now on our podcast, Behind the Investigation. Just search Atlanta News First on your favorite podcast platform. You're watching Uncovered by Atlanta News First Investigates, a weekly hour-long investigative show with new episodes launching every Sunday at 7.
How many innocent people do you have to search before you find what you're looking for?
These are lives that are at stake.
How much of this funding has gone towards your nonprofit?
You also have eyes and ears, and you know what's in that internal affairs investigation.
You guys can't explicitly say, we are investigating this doctor.
You latched on and you never let go.
It sounds to me like you're doing work as a general contractor.
Yes, sir.
Are you a licensed general contractor?
No, sir.
We expect you to do better.
Would you share the receipts and financials with Atlanta News First?
If I never would have saw your story, I never would have known what was going on.
We would still be stuck. We would not be here if it were not for you.
Exposing corruption.
Finding solutions.
Protecting your money.
Helping you stay safe.
Uncovering the truth.
Join us for Uncovered by Atlanta News First Investigates, Sunday nights starting at 7.